Everyone, hi, good evening. Bruce Mufson, Lcsw, coming at you with another video breakdown from SUNRIDGE, Nevada. For those of you new to the channel, we want to explain what the purpose of our channel is. We want to give you information, give a better understanding about mental health issues. As for my background, I attended the University of Georgia where I received a master's in social work. I then had to do a 2-year internship and take a national exam to become a licensed clinical social worker. I have worked inpatient at hospitals and also done outpatient work seeing people in their home. I have also gone to prison and detention facilities to evaluate and clarify mental health issues to a judge, public defender, and ADA, and have testified hundreds of times in court to explain and clarify mental health issues to them. I have also done extensive public speaking, mostly to law enforcement, to understand and explain how to work better with the mentally ill. And to maintain my license, I have to take 36 hours of credits every 2 years to maintain my license. Tonight, we're going to do a different topic. We finished, of course, Kendrick Lamar, and that was last week. We're going to talk about depression. So I'm going to provide a lot of information very quickly. So this is a time to listen intently and throw as many questions as you want, and we're going to go from there. So here we go. We understand our crowd. First of all, we know that our age tends to be about 15 to about 32. So a lot of stuff I'm going to be talking about is related to that age group. So first of all, a couple of comments about understanding the severity of depression. It affects over 18 million adults in the United States. Leading cause of disability for ages 15 to 44. Primary reason why someone dies of suicide. Every 12 minutes, someone commits suicide. And regarding our younger audience, 2% of children and 4 to 8% of adolescents are affected by major depressive disorder. Okay, question that comes up is, what is it? All right, so here's the point. Depression is a depressive disorder when it lasts for more than 2 weeks. Now, do all of us have issues at times feeling depressed and upset about things? Absolutely. We've all gone through those moments. But when it goes for more than 2 weeks, it becomes a depressive disorder. What are some of the things you're looking at? What are some of the symptoms? You're persistently sad, you're anxious, you have problems with insomnia, you don't sleep or you sleep too much. I'm going to talk about that a little bit later, but that's a huge one for me when I listen to someone talking about their issues with depression. What's your sleeping like? Depression affects your cognitive, emotional, behavioral, and physical functions. And it tricks you into thinking that nothing is going to help you. So, what are some of the things you got to do about it? Take a closer look at your thoughts. If all your thoughts are depressive and making you upset, think about an alternative. Do things like journaling and seeing, are these thoughts even realistic, or are they even going to help me if I think constantly depressive ideas about myself? If you need to get further help, signs of severe depression, because there's various types of depression that are intense, paralyzing, or unrelenting, those that last for months. And that's usually things what's called dysthymia depression, dysthymic disorder. Inability to care for yourself, basic needs, or in your daily relationships and your responsibilities. I'm not going to take care of that. I'm not going to take care of that. I'm not interested anymore. You give up on things. And symptoms are accompanied by, unfortunately, a lot of times drug and alcohol abuse, and you're having thoughts of suicide. Now, some of the steps you can take to overcome depression, there are things that you can do for yourself. You don't have to be in that state forever. Exercise regularly, okay? That's very, very important. It's a huge impact on your brain and your brain functioning. Get out and do something. Also, don't load up on the heavy foods that are like fried, processed, that are filled with sugar and salt. Bad for you. Eat healthy foods, fruits and vegetables, fish. That's what you want to go after. Sleep, sleep, sleep. When you don't sleep well, it makes things 100 times worse. Go to bed on time, wake up on time. Whenever I hear the word vampire hours, I get nervous. Find a purpose, something that you want to do in your life. Create a list of small goals to achieve. It may seem like it's insurmountable what you're dealing with. Do a little bit at a time. Journal, write. Always write down your thoughts. It seems to be very, very helpful in a lot of ways. Don't isolate. People with depression tend not to leave their house, not to leave their room. I go to an adolescent's house. If that room is where you spend most of your time, you're not out and about, bad. Even if it's to go to a grocery store, get out and be around people. Don't use thought-stopping techniques. Wait a second. Why am I feeling this way? This is not healthy. This is not good for me. I got to stop. All right. Now, here's the thing too. Teen depression, it's a serious mental health problem. Persistent feeling of sadness and loss of interest in activities. Now, you're a kid. So what are you dealing with as your teenager? Peer pressure, academic expectations, changing bodies, brings a lot of ups and downs. But sometimes it's more than just the highs and lows. It's a symptom of depression. Don't let people tell you it's a weakness and you could overcome it with willpower. That's not true. It can have serious consequences. It can require long-term treatment. That's okay. You can get through this. I want to make that really, really clear. You're going to deal with emotional changes. Okay, feelings of sadness, feelings of anger, low self-esteem. When you're depressed, you don't think you're good enough. I can't make the team. I can't get a girlfriend. I can't find a part-time job. No one likes me. Extreme sensitivity. Oh my God, I'll never be able to do anything. Failure. You feel like you're a failure all the time. You need excessive reassurance. It's okay. You can do it. You can do it. Ongoing sense that life looks like it's going to be bleak and unpleasant. Behavioral changes. Tired, loss of energy. We go back to that sleeping again. Eating, not sleeping or sleeping too much. Isolation. You're not taking care of your personal appearance. And you get that self-harm. I'm going to hurt myself. I'm going to burn myself. So for parents that are listening, talk to your teen. Don't give up. What are some of the causes of depression? We know now there's brain chemistry. There's neurotransmitters. That's a factor that, carry signals to other parts of your brain and body. Inherited traits. If you come from a family of depression, you're more likely to suffer from depression. Early childhood trauma. We've talked about this in other videos. When you have a dysfunctional childhood, it affects you. You're more prone to depression. Physical, emotional abuse, loss of a parent, increases the risk. You don't want that. It changes the brain not the brain chemistry, the brain functioning that changes the brain chemistry. Learn patterns of negative thinking. When you're around people that feel like nothing's ever going to change, nothing's going to get better, that's how you grow up and that's how you start to think of things. What are some of the risk factors? Being a victim of violence, physical or sexual abuse, huge. Every person I ever worked with that had issues about physical and sexual abuse, you're more prone to depression. Having issues like low self-esteem, bad. Family history is another factor. If your parent had depression, bipolar, alcohol use problems, that leads to depression issues. Having a family member that doesn't talk well, doesn't clarify things. So, always reach out to other people. Go ahead and do things. Don't isolate. Don't be by yourself. Not healthy. Now, I want to conclude. I like this. I got this from Boys Town. They talked about social media obsession. So, couple of big things where I see so many kids now today getting affected by depression from social media. Social media OCD. You obsess about everything online. Got to check my phone. Got to check my account. TikTok, Instagram. They'll change in a couple of years. There's always new ones popping up. But you obsess about online activities. Grass is always greener. I tell kids this all the time. Forget about the photos that you see and the video clips. Everyone's smiling. Everyone's happy. Everyone's having a great time. You have no clue what's going on behind the scenes. Wizard of Oz 101. Don't look behind the curtain. You don't want to see the truth. You don't know. Okay, feeling neglected. Oh my God, she has 5,000 likes. I only got 50. I must be a loser. Okay, don't also do this. I've seen this happen too. There's a photo, you didn't make the photo, or someone's not on the phone. They don't like me. They hate me. You don't know what happened with the photo. It could be 10 guys trying to crowd in. Big deal. But you personalize that way too much. Stranger danger. You have no clue often who's on the other side of that internet connection. She's 14. Now he's actually a 45-year-old sex offender. Be careful about that. Real world avoidance. So many people today use the social media online because you don't have to talk to people. That was the biggest thing they came up with. If you don't have to talk to people, you don't have to share things. You don't have to express yourself. And that comes back to affect you because you get into a fantasy world. I'm in my own world. No one knows what's going on. Everyone does, but you don't understand that anymore. Romantic drama. Oh my God, he broke up with me. There's his new girlfriend. She's so hot. I'm a failure. I'm going to kill myself. Don't worry about it. Don't get caught up in that stuff. Okay? And oversharing. That's another biggie. Kids today have no common sense when it comes to sending out photographs with text messages or comments about, ethnic groups or how they feel about people. 10, 15 years later, you're going to want to go for a job, run for political office. It will come back to bite you. You don't want to do that to yourself. Be careful about the oversharing. So what do I want to tell you to do? Give it a rest. Get off that computer. When I see people who literally can't let it get out of their hand with that phone, I'm like, they don't know when to leave it alone. Be realistic, okay? No one's life is perfect and no one's going to love you all the time. I've seen people that get a dislike or they get a negative comment, boom, I suck, I'm going to die, I want to kill myself. Don't be so consumed by life online that you forget to live your life in the real world. That's what I want to clarify. Live your life in the real world and don't get so obsessed with that. That's what I want to share about this topic. I want people to understand there's a lot of factors that go into being depressed, a lot of issues. Understand your childhood, understand your parents' background. But if you get a chance, get yourself help and don't isolate. When I go into someone's house and I say, how often does he leave his room? And I get this thing like I call it the dungeon. When you're in your room hour after hour and you never get out, I'm like, dungeon, Dracula hours. I'll be online till 4 o'clock and sleep all day. Guys, girls, be aware of this. That's how I want you to think. Any questions, any comments about depression, fire them in. You know how to email us, and I will get back to you. Bruce Mufson, Lcsw, Sunridge, Nevada.